Pronouns are simple words which we use in our conversation every day. Yet there are so many rules applying to the correct use of pronouns, it's hard to get it right every time. I will introduce you to several sets of rules, one set at a time. The challenge is to layer these sets of rules on top of each other because they have to be used together. Let me start with personal pronouns by demonstrating their use in a story. Here is my story about a group of students discussing world population. Alice, did you know that the world population reached 1 million almost 4,000 years ago? Billy, no, I didn't. So how long did it take for the world to grow from 1 million to 1 billion? Jackie, let me Google it. This article says it took 11,800 years to reach 1 billion. The world population reached 1 billion in 1800 BCE. Joey, that's a long time. What is the world population today? Alice, it hit 7 billion in 2011. Joey, is that good or bad for us to hit 7 billion? Alice, that's a good question. After all, it's our world. We have to live in it. Joey, how long did it take to get from 1 billion to 7 billion? Jackie, it took 120 years. Billy, how did we get from 1 billion to 7 billion in so short a time? Jackie, this article goes on to say that population growth depends on the difference between the world birth rate and death rate. The world birth rate grew and the death rate declined in the past 120 years. Billy, I think she made that up. I don't believe that birth and death rates change that much worldwide. The people who write the Google articles often are not reliable. They often get it wrong. That's just her opinion. Jackie, no, I didn't make that up. Billy just thinks he's smarter than I am. Alice, hold it, you two. I think we should stick to the facts and not get personal. Otherwise, we will not get our assignments completed on time. Dawn, how will you keep them from fighting with each other, Alice? Alice, they will have to work out their personal problems later after we have finished with our assignments. Joey, let's get back to our assignments instead of fighting among ourselves. Our assignment will not get done by itself. Billy, speak for yourself, Alice. We were not fighting, just searching for the truth. Alice, I'm fed up with all this bickering. I am going off to work by myself. Jackie sauntered away to work by herself. As for Billy, he wandered off to work by himself as well. Before long, they were all working by themselves in separate areas of the library. Now let's read the story with the explanation in brackets for every pronoun. Notice the number of personal pronouns used in this conversation. 43 plus 5 more in the closing remarks. That's how much we depend on pronouns so that we do not have to repeat the names of people and things. Story. Alice, did you, second person plural, know that the world population reached 1 billion almost 4,000 years ago? Billy, no, I, first person singular, didn't. So how long did it, the third person singular neuter, take for the world to grow from 1 million to 1 billion? Jackie, let me, first person singular, Google it, third person singular. This article says it, third person singular neuter, took 11,800 years to reach 1 billion. The world population reached 1 billion in 1800 BC. Joey, that's a long time. What is the world population today? Alice, it, third person singular neuter, hit 7 billion in 2011. Joey, is that good or bad for us, first person plural, to hit 7 billion? Alice, that's a good question. After all, it's third person singular neutral, our, first person plural, world, we, first person plural, have to live in it, third person singular neuter. Joey, how long did it, third person singular neuter, take to get from 1 billion to 7 billion? Joey, it, third person singular neuter, took 120 years. Billy, how did we, first person plural, get from 1 billion to 7 billion in so short a time? Jackie, this article goes on to say that population growth depends on the difference between the world birth rate and death rate. The the world birth rate grew and the death rate declined in the past 120 years. Billy, I, first person singular, think she, third person singular, female, made that up. I, first person singular, don't believe that birth and death rates change that much worldwide. The people who write the Google articles often are not reliable. They, third person plural, male and female, often get it, third person singular neuter, wrong. That's just her, third person singular female, opinion. Jackie, no, I, first person singular, didn't make that up. Billy just thinks he, third person singular male, is smarter than I, first person singular, am. Alice, hold it, third person singular neutral. You, second person plural, two. I, first person singular, think we, I, first person plural, should stick to the facts and not get personal. Otherwise, we, first person plural, will not get our first person plural assignment completed on time. Don, how will you, second person plural, keep them, third person plural, male and female, from fighting, Alice? Alice, they, third person plural male and female, will have to work out their third person plural male and female problems later after we first person plural are finished with our first person plural assignment. Joey, let us first person plural get back to our first person plural assignment instead of fighting among ourselves. First person plural. Our first person plural assignments will not get done by itself. Third person singular neuter. Billy, speak for yourself, second person singular. Alice, we, first person plural, we're not fighting. We just searching for the truth. Alice, I, first person singular, am fed up with all this bickering. I, first person singular, am going off to work by myself, first person singular. Jackie sauntered away to work by herself, third person singular female. As for Billy, he, third person singular male, wandered off to work by himself, third person singular male, as well. Before long, they, third person plural male and female, were all working by themselves, third person plural male and female, in separate areas of the library. I prepared a chart, see below, of the personal pronouns. Post them where you can see it when you write. The words in red only indicate which of the personal pronouns were used in my story. That's all. Thanks for listening. Try the following activities to find out how well you understand the use of pronouns. After you've watched this lesson, go to Sponsor Village for assignments on pronouns. Go to Grammar in the top navigation bar and click on Pronouns. To send any questions you may have about grammar, go to Sponsor Village and click on Ask Dr. Otto. I will reply to your questions as quickly as possible. Chart personal pronouns.